morning all. The course I have chosen for the lecture series is object-oriented programming using Java. In that we are going to see about the topic object-oriented programming concept. In that particularly we are going to concentrate on objects. So what is object-oriented programming? The word object-oriented programming, object oriented, is the combination of two words, that is one is object and the other one is oriented. Whatever functionalities we are doing inside a class is completely based upon the objects only. So in that sense we call the programming language as object oriented programming. The dictionary meaning of the object is an article or entity that exists in the real world. Okay, the meaning of oriented is interested in a particular kind of thing or entity. So in programming, pattern that rounds around an object or entity, we call it as object oriented programming. The object is referred to as a data field that has unique attributes and has its own behavior. Everything in OOP is grouped as a self-sustainable objects. In object oriented programming, it is basically a computer programming design philosophy or methodology that organizes models the code design around data or objects rather than functions and logic. So object oriented programming. So in object oriented programming, the most programming developers use this object oriented programming concept. It is the most popular programming model among the developers also. It is well suited for the program that are large, complex and actively updated or maintained. This is because we are dividing the program. So the complex program is divided piecewise, so we are making it reusable and easily maintainable. So this is the major reason for the popularity of object oriented programming among the developers. Next, procedural programming is about writing procedures or methods that performs operations on the data, while object oriented programming is all about creating objects that contain both data and methods. So suppose if we are moving toward the object oriented program, without such some advantage we will never move or adopt those programming languages. Likewise, object oriented programming also has some advantages. Let us see what are the advantages. OOP is faster and easier to execute. Okay, OOP is faster and easier to execute, which means its syntax is very clear and very easy to understand. It provides a clear structure for the programs. So we are dividing the programs into pieces and making it reusable. So we are going to provide a clear structure for the program. Next one, it provides to keep the Java code dry. What do you mean by dry is don't repeat yourself. We are not going to repeat the codes again and again. So because we are here we are dividing the codes into segments or pieces, and we are going to make it reusable so that it becomes easy to maintain, modify and debug. Okay, the next one, it is possible to create full reusable applications with less code and less development time. So these are the advantages of object oriented programming. So next, we can see with the graphical representation what is OOPS. OOPS is nothing but a strategy or methodology. What are the objects we can consider in real worlds is, so these are the objects we are going to consider in real time. So in real time objects examples are a television, a fan, a dog, a man, so or a student. These can be the real world concept examples for the object. So in programming examples, for example, in a banking application, customer or employee can be one of the object. In aircraft control system, engine can be one of the object. Okay, so these are all the examples of objects. So concept of OOPS. So what are all the concepts that OOPS supports? What are all the concepts take it as major? So let's see the concepts. So the basic concepts of OOPS are object, class, inheritance. This is object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. These 6 are the major concepts of OOPS. We can also call it as pillars of OOPS. Without these concepts, OOP cannot be that much easier to use. So what is an object? Let's see what is an object. Any entity that has state and behavior is known as an object. For example, a chair, a pen, table, keyboard, bike, etc. So these are all considered as objects. So these are all the objects of real worlds. So I'm taking these examples to make you much clear. Okay, so it can be physical or logical. So an object can be defined as an instance of class. Instance is nothing but example or a part of a class. So an object can be defined as an instance of class. An object contains an address and take up some space in memory. Objects can communicate without knowing the details of each other's data or code. Only necessary thing is the type of message accepted and the type of response returned by the object. Let's see it with an example. So a dog is an object. Okay, so we are considering a real-time object. Now we are going to consider a dog as a real-time object because it has states like color, name and breed. Okay, so these are all considered as the states of that object called dog, as well as it also has some behaviors like wagging its tail, barking, eating. So these are considered as the behaviors of the object, and color, name and breed are considered as the states of that object. So we are going to conclude that each object has its own states and its own behavior. Okay, for example, in this example we are considering the dog as an object. So that object has states like color of the dog, name of the dog and breed of the dog, as well as it has some behaviors like wagging the tail, barking, eating and etc. So these are all some of the examples of the real-time objects. Okay, have a look at it. So thank you.